Yeah, I tell you, I used to have nightmares going against Muggsy.
Muggsy is a great testimony to the fact that speed kills.
And I was a huge Muggsy fan.
You always wanted to know where Muggsy was.
I gotta go for it.
Muggsy squeezed through a little hole there. Wasn't much room.
Muggsy, where did he go? Starts to drive and Bogues just stripped it away. Takes it down against Paxson. Gives it back to Larry Johnson.
When people talk about Muggsy Bogues, they always start with the height. 5'3", the shortest player to ever play in the NBA. But what they miss is that he wasn't just in the league to be a story. He was in the league to compete. Muggsy had elite quickness, unreal court vision, and the kind of basketball IQ that could dissect the defense. He ran offenses with total control, knowing exactly when to push the tempo and when to slow it down. His passes were sharp, clean, and always on time. He made everyone around him better. And on defense, he was a nightmare. Just ask any guard who had to bring the ball up court with Muggsy hounding them the full 94 feet. He had lightning fast hands, a low center of gravity, and the instincts you couldn't teach. Despite giving up a foot or more to most players, he was never afraid to step in and make a stop. And he wasn't some one-season wonder. He lasted 14 seasons in the NBA. That kind of longevity doesn't happen unless you're legit. He was the engine of those 90s Hornets teams. Playing alongside stars like Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson, he held his own every night. Muggsy Bogues didn't make excuses. He didn't want sympathy. He wanted to win. And he proved you don't have to be tall to dominate. You just have to have heart, skill, and the will to compete. Muggsy wasn't just good for his size. He was great, period. So here's a collection of NBA legends and players explaining how Muggsy Bogues dominated at 5'3". Enjoy the video, man.
Dominate the game. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
We step in the meetings in the NBA, the first thing the guards say, hey, you bring the ball up, I'm not bringing it up. He's not going to embarrass me tonight.
I hate playing against Muggsy Bogues because he made me be on my toes all the time. And I used to say, man, look, I'm not going to let you pick me today.
He's going to keep that dribble down, and Muggsy's going to get it, and he takes it from him.
I never said this before, but Muggsy Bogues scared me. As soon as I put the ball on the ground, he's right there. One, I got to battle with Alonzo Mourning, and now I got to worry about this little fast Superman-looking guy coming to steal the ball.
95% of the NBA guards had to change the way they played when they played against him.
Just me talking about it right now, I'm sweating and I got goosebumps. At 5'3", the way he could change the basketball game was remarkable.
Just disrupts everything.
What a steal by Muggsy Bogues!
No guys running around in between your legs.
Pounded by Muggsy.
He just plays with so much heart and hustle.
Fumbled for a moment. Bogues picks his pocket.
I try to put pressure on my opponent every time, and I know that I'm going to get it sooner or later.
Stolen by Muggsy.
It makes me run harder because I know that, hey, if I run, I'm going to get the ball. He's always told me, Joe, you run out, I will see you.
Muggsy's inspirational story has made him a fan favorite, especially for smaller fans.
Go Muggsy!
I think the thing that makes Muggsy such a unique player is the fact that, you know, he's been used to hearing how small he is, and I felt that he used that to his advantage. You know, it doesn't make a difference your size. He showed that, you know, you could be big, you could be small, and still there's a place for you in this game.
Muggsy Bogues played at Wake Forest also.
Yes.
And I was a huge Muggsy fan. And when
Short
I got
kings.
Look at that, yeah. He'd a goat. He'd a goat when it come to that. And Muggsy, when I committed to go to Wake, actually took me under his wing. You know what I mean? Like, and just, I remember he let me come speak at his camp. I used to go kick it at his house.
You know, Muggsy is a great testimony to the fact that speed kills, all right? So you got somebody handling the ball, it's close to the ground, can move it around and find the guys that's open. That's a skill that generates to wins on the basketball court, even though his height wouldn't make you think that was possible. There he is.
I really never thought about my height. Other people see me as 5'3". I just see myself as a person and not really any height. I just play my game and just play the best way I know how.
Yeah, I tell you, I used to have nightmares going against Muggsy. I literally, to your point, I would never want to bring the ball up. I literally would just throw it up to John Starks and then let him go back, and then I get it to initiate the offense. And he was so strong. And I remember talking with my college teammates, Larry Johnson, who was their first pick, and Zoe was there. And I was like, LJ, I was like, man, that dude is strong. He's like, G,
do you know he bench presses 400 pounds? And I thought he was joking. He's like, no, man, he bench presses more than I do, because L was probably bench pressing 360, something crazy. And I'm telling you, man, that dude was freakishly strong, such a great mindset and approach. And he had this personality that everybody just loved to be around the guy, man. And he's, even today, he's like the mayor of Charlotte. He just has that personality and really happy. I'm excited to watch this because I just haven't played in that era. I can appreciate his true greatness as a player.
Muggsy was a tough little joker, man.
And Muggsy takes it away. Well, Muggsy's closer to the floor. He should get it, right?
Put it down and went to reach for it. Muggsy had it and was gone.
He reaching in here. Now he's going to go for this shot. Looks like he gets fouled here, but Rosa says they already call it. So Zoe Mourning leaves as Michael goes up for the shot, but the call was already made. Michael says, good call.
What did I think about Muggsy Bogues? 5'3" guy, played in the NBA, quickest guy I've ever seen play the game of basketball. And he is epitome of what determination means. No matter how big you are, you can still play with the big guy. Did he ever block my shot? No.
Him and you see in stature, he's small, but at the same time, man, this kid, he had a heart of a lion. He went out there and he laid it all out on the line, and being able to play with him, it was fun.
He was the smallest guy on the court, but he played like the biggest guy on the court. You know, he played with the most heart. You know, and at 5'3", the way that he could do things and how fast he was and.
His speed. I mean, first and foremost, his feet. I've never seen anybody with better feet.
Little undersized, but fast and bringing the ball up the floor. I was in love with small, fast point guards. And Muggsy and I were a perfect combo as far as the guy that I wanted to run our team.
Muggsy, obviously, the heart of that guy to be 5'3" and play in the NBA. Can't tell you how big a heart he has and how competitive he was, how he could read everything on the floor, time and score.
His basketball IQ was far and beyond that of most NBA players. He understood the game, you know, and he understood exactly where you needed to be because he's a general. You know, he's a point guard. He used to always, you guys couldn't hear him say this, but he used to always say on the court, "Come on, honey. Come on, honey." He called everybody honey. You know,
I think Muggsy kind of gave us a little bit of our identity, that scrapper, intensity. Okay, we may not be the most talented group, but if we go out and we play to the best of our ability every night, we can get something done.
His competitive spirit, I mean, bigger than everyone's. You were never gonna punk Muggs.
There were so many players in the league that hated bringing the ball up the court against Muggsy. His low center of gravity, and he used to being a wrestler, and he was getting in and stealing the ball and move his feet really well and quick. Nobody wanted to bring the ball up against Muggsy.
You know, it's amazing when you have that 24-second shot clock and you have somebody pressuring you for 10 or 15 seconds of those shot clock, how well our defense was because he was able to take so much time off the clock. You know, teams couldn't get in their offense when he really wanted to disrupt them.
It's not like you could say, oh, he's little, we're going to throw him. No, he was so little and strong, he'd root you out to, 15 or 16 feet before you caught the ball, and now you're not in the post anymore.
Very difficult to play against him. Playing against some bigger and taller guys, it was very difficult to for those guys to find the body and check him out.
You know, he wasn't worried about, being the guy with the most points or being the star on the team or a guy in the paper. He just wanted to lead his team, to make sure he got the assist to help you score as easily and as quickly as you could.
I remember him basically taking me under his wing and just telling like, young fella, all I want you to do is run. Don't let me beat you down the court. And he was serious. He said, I'll find you, just run.
I owe a lot to Muggsy because Muggsy gave me an opportunity to go out there and get extra shots. Because if it wasn't for his pinpoint passes, probably would have been a little more of a struggle.
All of us did whatever Muggsy said on the floor. He was the general. We trusted him with the ball. But I knew if the ball was coming my way, I'm not to dribble. He's only going to throw it to me when I'm open and catch and shoot because he wanted to assist. If I had to pump fake and put it on the floor for an escape dribble, why are you dribbling the ball? It's first thing, whether the shot went in or not. Why are you dribbling the ball? I'm giving it to you so you don't have to dribble. That guy was funny, man, but he was competitive, the leader of our group. We trusted him with anything.
He would penetrate, you know, and it's hard to believe that he would go into those trees. He would, I mean, as small as he would get into those trees. And then the plays that he would make were phenomenal for a guy his size, to be able to see guys, have the court vision that he had, you know. So it was very fun playing with Muggsy.
On the floor, I remember I was having a good game. Had made a few in a row. And coming down the floor, he would just directions. He's always pointing, not saying a lot. Go this way. I come off a screen not open. He's still dribbling the ball. Go back that way. Get him again. He's just, well, whatever he could do to get me a shot, but that's just how he was.
J.R. Reed, who's 6'9", 270 pounds, says to Muggsy that you cannot, if I wrestle you, I'll pin you. Muggsy said, oh, really?
They're both looking at each other, and we're all just at our chairs like, well, how's this gonna go down? Before we knew it, Muggsy was behind JR, picked him up and dropped him right on his head.
Muggsy pins J.R. Reed and does not let him off of the floor. Because at 5'3", when he's on the floor, I mean, he's pretty much got the leverage on you. That told me right there how tough Muggsy Bogues was.
And Muggs wrestled in high school, but that was the last time. JR, we lost it. Guys are running around. Muggs didn't break a smile.
Can you imagine J.R. Reed not being able to get up floor when Muggsy Bogues is on top of him? Yeah, that's how tough Muggsy Bogues was.
If you didn't know any better, you would think that it was impossible, but I got an opportunity to see it night in and night out.
You know, I didn't match up, thankfully, against Muggsy, but there were times as a primary ball handler initiating the offense during my Detroit years, when we would play Charlotte, you always wanted to know where Muggsy was. Because I didn't want to have to put the ball on the floor at all with him on the court. So a lot of times we put Lindsey Hunter in the opposite corner, and that was our offense, and just to keep Muggsy away from all the action. But, you know, it's incredible, I mean, to think that size and to have that kind of impact on the game. And, you know, there's an old adage in the NBA, you can't teach height, you know, but you also can't teach heart. And, you know, he played at that size and made a difference, you know, caused havoc defensively, offensively, pushed tempo, made great decisions, knocked down. He wasn't really a three-point shooter, but more of a mid-range, you know, catch and shoot kind of guy. But, you know, played in this NBA and played for a while. I mean, I think he had more than 10 years in this league.
And played on good teams.
And played on good teams. So, one of a kind, and I think it's great that we're honoring and celebrating him and telling his story so today's generation can understand who Muggsy Bogues was, what he was and what he was all about.
Muggs had a lot of charisma. He really did. You know, people gravitated towards Muggsy because he was small, you know, and traditionally speaking, basketball players were tall and they stood out. Muggsy blended right on in. You know, he was the average height of your NBA fan. People loved him.
Muggsy Bogues showed that size doesn't define heart and height doesn't measure impact. He wasn't trying to be the tallest guy on the floor. He just played his game and played it better than most. He earned respect every time he stepped on the court. And the fact that he lasted 14 years in the league full of giants, that says everything. Muggsy didn't just belong in the NBA. He made his mark on it. So guys, tell me, what was your favorite Muggsy Bogues clip? And make sure you like, share, subscribe, and until next time.